Imagine this. In a corrupt empire, loyalty is just a mask, and secrets, well, they're stitched right into the silk. Tonight, we're unpacking a story where shadows literally burn, and love decides to defy fate itself.
So, think about that for a second. In a world that's built on nothing but rigid control and whispered betrayals, could a simple act of devotion be the most powerful form of defiance? That's the question at the very heart of this entire story.
All right, let's set the scene. Our story kicks off in the Empire's Silk District, and I want you to picture it, a place hushed by secrets, where the only light is from these swaying lanterns casting long, dancing shadows on priceless fabrics. This is no ordinary marketplace. It's the nerve center of a conspiracy, where every single thread might hide a clue or a threat.
And caught right in the middle of this whole mess, we have two men who could not be more different. First, there's Chin-Hu. He's reckless, defiant, a man who lives in the shadows and questions every single order he's given. And on the other side, Liang Wei. He's the very picture of rigid honor and discipline, a swordsman who has always lived by the letter of the law. They're rivals, total opposites.
And that brings us to the most important symbol in this story, the brocade. Now, this is so much more than just a beautiful fabric. In this world, brocade is its own language, a language of power, of loyalty, and of death. And the whole story kicks off when a body is found, wrapped in a piece of this cryptic, coded brocade. This isn't just a murder, you see. It's a message.
And this is the moment the entire story pivots. Chin-Hu, who's already the prime suspect, confronts his rival Liang Wei. But he doesn't draw a sword. No, instead, he offers a challenge. An invitation, really. He forces this incredibly uneasy alliance, basically daring the man of honor to step into the shadows with him. Their journey doesn't start with trust. It starts with a dare.
So where does this shaky new partnership lead them? Straight into the viper's nest, a glittering banquet for the nobility. But don't let the silk and the fancy incense fool you. The laughter here is completely hollow, and every smile is just another mask. This is where the Empire's elite come to play their deadly games, and where loyalty is always on the menu.
They quickly realize the conspiracy runs so much deeper than they thought. Because the brocade everyone is wearing, it isn't just fashion, it's a secret language. The patterns stitched into their sleeves, into their robes, they're all coded messages. Pledges of allegiance, subtle warnings, even hidden death threats, all just hanging out there in plain sight. And in this room full of whispers, Chin-Hu's most painful secret is thrown at him like a dagger. He's publicly outed as the son of a traitor. The accusation is just brutal, and it's designed to do one thing: isolate him completely, to make everyone, especially Liang Wei, doubt him. It's a calculated, vicious attack.
But just then, all hell breaks loose. Assassins strike. The room erupts into chaos. And in the heat of it all, something amazing happens. Liang Wei, the rule follower, the man who lives and breathes the Empire's code, he makes a choice. Instead of abandoning the now disgraced Chin-Hu, he fights right beside him. And their movements, once used against each other as rivals, are suddenly seamless.
When Chin-Hu asks him why he saved him, this is Liang Wei's answer. And this line, oh, it's a game changer. It is the first real crack in that rigid armor of his. It's him declaring that his personal honor is more important than the Empire's judgment. Right here, in the middle of a fight, a real bond is being forged. And that brings us to the climax, a final showdown in a hidden chamber buried deep beneath the palace. And the room itself, it's like a monument to the conspiracy. It's draped in the very same brocade that has meant death and power this entire time. You can just feel the tension in the air.
And here, Chin-Hu finally confronts the mastermind. His defiance isn't just about politics. It is intensely personal. He connects the entire plot, the coded silks, the murders, directly to his own father's execution. See, this isn't just about exposing a conspiracy anymore. It's about reclaiming his family's honor from the ashes.
The final fight is just a blur, a storm of steel and emotion. A blade slices Liang Wei's shoulder, and in that instant, Chin-Hu's legendary control just shatters. "I cannot lose you," he yells out. It's this raw, desperate confession. And fueled by that vulnerability, their swords start to move as one, and the architect of all their pain finally falls. So after all that fire and blood, there's quiet. Jinhui and Liang Wei are fugitives now. They're hiding out in some tiny village, far from the Empire's grasp. The world just shrinks down.
The chaos fades, and all that's left is this hushed, intimate moment of safety.
And the symbolism in this next part is just perfect. Liang Wei, with his own hands, starts stitching together pieces of torn brocade they salvaged from the fight. He is physically mending the very fabric that was used to kill and to silence. He's transforming a symbol of conspiracy into a cloak of warmth, of protection. It's a pure act of healing.
And right there, the transformation is complete. The motif that started as this cryptic symbol of death has been totally redefined by their journey. That brocade no longer represents a conspiracy that was choking them, now it represents the vow that binds them together.
So, in a world that demands absolute, unquestioning obedience, their devotion to each other becomes the ultimate act of rebellion. They didn't just survive the empire. No, they built their own world inside of its ruins, a world governed by their own laws.
Which really makes you think, right? The story puts this big question right in front of us. What is true honor? Is it blindly obeying a broken system, or is it being loyal to something more personal, something pure? Ling Wei's entire arc is just an exploration of that conflict.
And the story's answer is pretty clear. Qin Hu and Liang Wei redefined loyalty on their own terms. They went from being servants of a corrupt state, one rebellious, one dutiful, to becoming rebels who were bound only by their love and trust for one another.
So I'll leave you with this final thought. The story leaves us with this provocative question that rings true far beyond its world of silk and shadows. When the systems we're told to trust finally collapse, what's left? What do we choose to fight for? Maybe, just maybe, as this story suggests, the answer isn't a crown or a cause. Maybe it's a person.